Even giving them a shout out for Michigan State. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another Saturday Premier League morning. I think the 50-degree days are behind us. This is the last time I'm going to say anything about the weather regarding the start of the show. Again, we're live, A2D Radio. Brian, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Just another week in paradise here, brother. Just trying to figure out what's going on with my Prem squad and, just enjoying this beautiful game and everything that's been thrown our way week after week here. It's literally, there's pretty much a game on every day, nonstop action. It's just how deep you want to dig into these leagues and competitions. So,
yeah,
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I guess the positive thing, really the only positive thing to come out of the this COVID pandemic that we're in is the amount of games that we're getting literally every week. There's always Champions League. They're trying to fit that in. Like the last group stage game we'll get into in a little bit. They're trying to fit that in before Christmas and figure out who's going to make it to the round of 16 to start that already in January.
Yeah.
Plus the league games, and then we're not even like close to any cup games yet. I think FA Cup is rolling up pretty soon.
Yeah, the FA Cup, the Prem squads are allowed to show up next week. So
this is it.
I watched two teams play the final round 2 game, and it was an 8th league side of England.
Ooh.
Playing another team, and they lost 3-0. They put up a good showing, but they played Boreham Wood.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So they lost, but being an 8th tier, it's like my guys playing on Sunday, playing a professional team. So
yeah, you get your opportunity. Yeah. You never know what happens.
Yeah, you never know. One day, one team is going to make a nice run in that league,
exactly,
or in that cup. So. Yeah, and we still got MLS winding down. We got every league over in Europe. I mean, there's like we say, there's always something to watch. It's just how much do you really want to?
Yeah, the MLS, everything. For those that are still paying attention now that the Union are out, we are down to a Final 4 in the MLS. Yes. Give a small little blurb, nothing crazy. I don't want to bore anybody with who's going to be in it or who we think's going to win, because I honestly think Seattle's going to win, and they'll probably leave it just this there. That's it.
Probably. Most likely, yes.
Just back to back. That's it.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Thanks, Andy and Frank. Jake, what's going on, man? But yes, good segue. Thank you, Jacob. Poll question this morning. Obviously, focusing on the North London derby, maybe not as hyped as you would like, as Arsenal are sitting 14th or so in the table. Tottenham
or so
first.
Thanks for the or so.
Or so. I don't really know. They're down there somewhere.
No, you were right.
I'm on the button.
It's 14.
Yes. But yeah. So with Arsenal sitting in the bottom, struggling a little bit, do you think they have a chance to beat Tottenham? Agree or disagree? Obviously, Jake went with disagree. I'm gonna have to say yeah. I don't think they can. The way this Arsenal team playing, no way.
No shot.
But I did
say it.
I did think about, all right, Arteta always gets the boys going, backs against the wall. I mean, this is a backs against the wall game. You got to come out with at least some kind. You got to get 3 basically, because you're so far down there in the table. And these are the games you got to show up and play. Otherwise, Arteta is going to be like, well, what else do I got?
Eddie just took the words right out of my mouth. You lose this game, you're 11 points behind Spurs out of first place. Your season's over. You'll be lucky to even sniff Europe if you lose this game. So if we're going to jump right into it, I might as well, here's my thought. My optimism has just not been high of late. The only thing I can say is we had this little closed door meeting coaches and players, an airing of grievances, and then the coaches left, and it was just the players. And apparently it got heated. In some circles, it was called stormy, but then everything left applicable, and these guys now have to put it on the pitch and use it. I mean, it was right before the Europe game. Again, you're not playing much in competition in the group stage right now in Europe, but they got the job done in a 4-1 win. That needs to translate to the league. That's been the issue. Is we need the translate to the league. And as sad as it makes me to say, the Spurs have been one of, if not the best team in the Prem right now this year. So,
I mean,
no expectations, but this has got to be the game.
I mean, you got to figure something out because the Arteta shine, how we were saying, we were applauding him in the beginning of the season that Arteta was doing such a great job. And then I'm pretty sure I saw Unai Emery had more points at this point in the season. What was it, last year?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, there's something ain't right. I don't know. And
again, I was accepting the 1-0 loss to Liverpool on the road. I was accepting, of a little bit of struggles against the better teams. But now you've had opportunities to take out, lower level teams, and you have not capitalized. So,
yeah, I mean, the slipping up against like Villa and Leeds, can't happen.
And even Wolves, as good as they are, you can't lose that game. Especially when you knock out Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, poor guy.
I know.
Thank God he's seems like he's going to be all right.
Seems to be okay. Arsenal's in big trouble for mishandling their concussion protocol, apparently, by letting Luiz just wrap his head and get back in there. So,
yeah. I mean,
again, for all you that want to talk shit on this sport, they do it without helmets. And they crack skulls and keep playing with a little bandage. They don't have to go in a tent and get pulled out for 3 weeks. Just saying.
I mean, you're not wrong. But you don't have to tell me that.
Looks like a newcomer from Twitch.
Nice.
Don't remember seeing this kid before. Welcome. And is Chelsea the best team in London? Yes. Because I will never give Spurs that, even if they were 12 points ahead of everybody.
Oh, I mean, I have my 2 cents to say about that game last week later on when we get to that point about the Chelsea Spurs game last weekend. I have some nice words to say about Jose Mourinho and his stupid tactics and being a little bitch.
Yeah, well, we all know that.
And playing for a tie. So, but again, I'll get into that later.
Arsenal is trash. Don't ever.
I like this kid already.
I you know what? I do. I like your heart. Arsenal is trash, but Tottenham, there's nothing good to say about them. So,
hey, we'll find out in what was it? 2 hours.
Not 24 hours.
Oh, is that tomorrow? That's tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just going to make me stress all weekend. I just don't want to lose that game. I don't want to hear Matt Workmeister texting me that,
What a name drop.
Yeah.
Forgot about Mr. Matthew.
The old Workmeister.
He's a Workmeister, all right.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, let us know what you think to the poll. Arsenal will beat Tottenham in the North London Derby tomorrow. Agree or disagree. Love to see you guys chime in, tell what you think. Obviously, we had our first postponement due to COVID this season.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yesterday, the Villa and Newcastle got postponed because there's a little bit of an outbreak in the Newcastle team. So
yes,
I mean it's a long thing, coming because you knew one of these weeks that something. One team. It's always every sport we've seen it. With the
look how further we've made it than every other sport.
Yeah, it's been great. And then, literally the team that's up in the middle of nowhere in Northeast England is the team that gets the first outbreak. Not a major, not that Newcastle's not a major city, but it's like way the hell up there, and still they're the first team. So that's our first postponement.
Yeah, and they're Arsenal's next opponent in the FA Cup, I believe. So,
ooh, what else? Earlier this morning, we had Everton continuing their slide a little bit as far as their hot start earlier in the season seems to be fading very quickly.
Boy, have the mighty have fallen.
Right? I was just saying
You're drawing Burnley?
That's not good.
Like that's where you're at? You're drawing Burnley?
It went from in the beginning of the season where we're like, does Everton have enough to compete with Liverpool for the for a title? And now they're sliding
slowly sliding.
Slowly sliding. Try and say that 3 times fast.
They fell to 7th at this current moment, and there are a lot of teams behind them that still have to play this weekend. So I probably, looking at the table, would expect them to fall out of the top 10 after this weekend.
Yeah.
And yes, Eddie, you are right. It is
Eddie
tough to win at Turf Moor.
Eddie giving a lot of love to Turf Moor.
It was, it was tough to win at Turf Moor over the last 5 years, but this year hadn't been such a difficult feat for anybody. So sitting at 19th in the table with a whole 6 points, when you're Everton and you've been struggling, that's a game you have to go into Turf Moor and find a way to get 3, not get blessed with a Calvert-Lewin goal and get out of there with a draw.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you got to give your props to Turf Moor. Did they have fans in the seats? Are they one of the teams that were allowed?
Honestly, I'd have to check my list. It's so confusing who gets to and who doesn't. Actually, I think I have it still saved.
Not that it was a lot. I think it's 2,000 per.
No, it's only 2,000 each.
I mean, I know the London clubs, Liverpool,
the London clubs are
Brighton,
pretty sure,
Southampton, everyone on the coast. I just remember in Manchester, both teams weren't allowed to.
Oh, here you go. No fans.
No fans for Burnley. So,
no, you got Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Palace, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Hampton, Spurs, and West Ham are all allowed 2,000 fans.
So, all the teams there's Liverpool, London, and all the teams on the South Coast basically were allowed.
Yes.
So, yes, Turf Moor is tough, but without fans and the way this Burnley team's playing, you would expect Everton to win.
Yeah. You got to go in there and you got to.
For me, that's a bad draw.
It is. That's a poor draw for a team that was on fire to start the year. So, welcome Drew from YouTube. Welcome everybody. Good morning. Good morning. The YouTube. I've been plugging the YouTube on social media heavy, so hopefully that's picking us up. What's up? What's up?
Good
morning, everybody.
Going old school for Amin.
Yeah.
I know the YouTube
Bailey's
is
here.
The YouTube thing we need more of.
Yeah, all of us, all the A2D shows. We need to just really got to get those YouTube views up. I know it's not as prominent. There's a lot of other social platforms that are just as big, if not more important now. But I would like to see the YouTube numbers going up. So welcome YouTubers.
Yeah,
appreciate you. It's an easy platform to tune in from.
I mean, it's great. YouTube's they're like the ODs of it all.
So.
But yeah, then we got later today. We got West Ham versus Man United. That should actually be a pretty good game.
That should be a good one.
And then we got Chelsea and Leeds at 3:00 to end the day.
That also should be a good one.
It's the Pat Bamford revenge game.
Yes.
So hopefully he takes it easy on the club that loaned him out like 10 times.
Do you get does Frank get Olivier up in that squad, or does he get a break?
Damn right he does. He earned it.
Yeah. Tammy just keeps dropping down the old pecking order, huh?
You know what? It's
time to sell.
I hate to see a promising young player, I mean, they should have beat Spurs. He should have finished at least one of those chances last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Giroud would have. Giroud has just a knack to score against Spurs. Trust me, as an Arsenal guy.
No, we do. We watch pretty much every of the major leagues. I mean,
yeah, pretty much 5 major. You know me, my weird ass watches everything I can. Right now, I'm currently watching Coventry City and Rotterdam United square off in the second league. So
see, League One, big time. There's that championship.
And just not to get off topic, but the 3 teams leading the championship right now? Have you checked recently?
Is it Bournemouth and Norwich?
It sure is.
Are we going to see one of those or both teams back? Is it like
Bournemouth, Norwich,
Bristol City,
and you know who's sitting third?
Brentford. A former.
Hold on. I lost your audio again.
Again, damn it.
Oh my God.
Joey, just out of curiosity, what do ticket prices go for at matches in Europe and England? Well, when I went to the Fulham game,
there it is.
2 years ago, when I went over for the Eagles game, I was able to see Fulham and Bournemouth. That was probably the cheapest ticket we could have possibly got. So,
and what did that run you?
Remember? I think it might have been like 20 to 30 euro, maybe, which is maybe $45 US.
So I was seeing some major complaints that certain teams were
maybe 15.
Teams were charging. Yeah, teams were charging like they upped the prices for the teams that are allowed to have the 2,000 fans in. They upped it to like 75 euros a game, and people were complaining. I said, have you been to an American sporting event?
Oh, I mean,
just go to a regular home game at Yankee Stadium. It's 150 a person.
Right.
So, and that's for like, they have 82 of them or 81 of them during the season. So,
I mean, it's obviously the bigger clubs are going to be more than that. I mean, I think Arsenal leads the league in most expensive ticket. And then obviously I think Fulham might be at the bottom. It depends what club it is. I mean, some of these clubs, pride themselves at having tickets that, the hard, blue collar guy, maybe that's not making the big time bucks in working in London or whatever, they could afford it. So maybe it'll be like 10 euro.
Yeah.
It really depends. Obviously the big dogs are going to spend an arm and a leg, like the oil money guys, like Chelsea. I know my dad and brother went to a Chelsea match, and back then you had to get a package because Chelsea has their own hotel, pretty much almost adjoined to their stadium. So they had like a package deal where you had to spend 2 nights at this, I think it's called the Millennium Hotel or something like that. And then you get a match day ticket as well. So
it was probably still cheaper than going to an NFL game.
Probably. Shit, that Eagles game at Wembley was a fucking arm and a leg. But again, I mean, we spend again like $250 for NFL tickets, so
yeah, we
don't have that much room to talk. I mean, it's probably less than that. It depends. I mean, I looked at when I went to Dortmund, those tickets, if you weren't, we had to sit in the away section when they played Darmstadt because it was the cheapest ticket. You're spending like 150 euro outside the away section. Like, that's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, my buddy Jules is chiming in. What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Jules? What's the most common food ate at those Euro soccer games?
Well, I think it's really just the culture in
Yeah,
Germany.
it depends on how Euro we talking. I mean, we're talking just England, we talking Germany, we talking
In Germany, when
Italy.
I went, it was obviously bratwurst. You get like a little like sausage sandwich.
Yeah,
Delightful.
England, you get a banger, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do have a lot of the meat pies actually.
Yes, just hammering down a meat pie,
But the
watching a
weird
game.
thing, I was talking this about with my dad last week. In England, you can't bring food or drink in the stands with you. You have to eat it out on the concourse, which is
That
stupid.
makes it's stupid, but I guess it makes sense. It saves a lot of cleanup,
Yeah.
a lot of manpower, a lot of money afterwards. Because you ever walk through a baseball stadium
Oh,
after
it's
just
terrible.
a regular Tuesday night game, and the slob Americans that we are just throwing all our shit on the floor for someone else to clean because there's not a garbage can at the end of every aisle.
Yeah. There's the sausage in Germany. It's really whatever they eat. I mean, again, in England, they have the meat pies you eat out in the concourse. Germany,
And meat pies and beef drinks sounds awful. Yeah, that's why guys don't like playing in England. It always goes back to the food. We talk about it. That's why
it's
Leroy and Serge had such an issue here.
yeah. You're not getting exactly the best of foods. No offense to any English people that are watching, but the meat pies, that's kind of a heavy meal to be digesting, sitting and watching a game,
Yeah,
and beer on top of that. That's tough.
it's hard to keep you bouncing up and down in the supporter section.
I mean, it's literally the same thing that we do here. You either eat at the state. If you want to save money, you go to a bar around the stadium in London or wherever you're at. I did the same thing in Germany, except Germany, their beer was cheap as hell. I think it was like €3.
That's because it runs out of the faucets.
Damn right it does. It's delicious, but yeah,
They're like, you want a water, $40. You want a beer, just take it.
I don't even know if they had water available.
I'm sure that wasn't even an option.
It's like Vasa. What the fuck is that? We don't drink that here, man. But yeah, it really depends on where you're at, the culture. Now, I'm sure in Brazil they have some crazy shit in those stadiums.
Yeah, the dude just comes over like with the meat and shaves it off for you.
Oh my god.
Because that's really what they do over there.
Just guys going through the aisleway, just like, what kind of meat you want? Shave it off. Damn it. What a topic. Thanks, Jules, for the food. This is new.
Yeah,
I love it.
we cover it all. We cover it all.
But yeah, a lot of good games. And tomorrow, obviously, the North London Derby we got rocking 11:30. And then what's else? Tomorrow, Liverpool and Wolves.
That should be a good one as well.
It'll be good to see. We'll see what kind of scoring Wolves is going to get without Raul.
Yeah, missing Raul. I think this is Jota's first game against his old squad, so
Jota
we'll be
revenge
missing him.
game.
Yeah. Watch out.
And who will step up for Wolves? Is it Podence? He's been good.
He's been great. Pretty sure he had the game winner against Arsenal.
He did. He's on my terrible fantasy team, which I am now in relegation in my own fantasy league.
I love it. You can head up league number 2 next year.
There you go. Maybe I'll be the Sunderland and do the double dip, for God's sakes.
I made a trade. I don't know if you noticed that, but first trade of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah, that I know. I didn't think anybody else has made a trade, but I sent Ramsdale and Callum Wilson away for Dean Henderson, and I honestly don't even remember the lower level striker I got back, but when I saw De Gea get pulled and Dean come in,
Yeah.
I sent the trade, and they had no scorers, so I figured they would accept it. So,
and he did.
I'm going to roll with Che Adams and Ollie Watkins all year and hope that's enough.
It's pretty potent, man.
Yeah. Who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought? Yeah. That's why I don't play fantasy sports. Terrible.
That's all right. Well, for anybody listening that would like to get into our league next year, it's been pretty well this year, so we're trying to expand into 2 leagues next year.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of other people will get on board with it, and maybe like Julio, forgetting that the draft was like an hour before. Or people
and
paying
our one boy who drafted the entire Leeds squad.
Yeah, which I
actually
hate you for that.
It hasn't been too bad for him though. He's like mid-table.
Just lost to him. God damn it. When Leeds gets a shutout, that's very good for him.
Yeah.
Because that's like 6 points all around.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, my God. But yes, what else? Champions League, obviously, was this past week again. We are down to the last game this weekend coming up, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see some key games to see who's going through, who's winning the groups. I know that PSG, Man United grouping, and Leipzig is all pretty much up for grabs.
Yeah, that one's up for grabs. Actually, believe it, the Dortmund group is not settled yet.
No.
There's some work to do there. Dortmund obviously holds all the cards. They get to play the worst team of the group in Zenit. But the other 2 are knocking right on the door. So that Lazio Club Brugge game should be definitely one to watch. That's
Absolutely.
First spot.
Yeah, just a little midweek trip to St. Petersburg. No big deal.
Yeah, no biggie. And then the second place in Group A is still up for grabs. Group B is completely up for grabs.
It should be exciting. I mean, this is the time where now this week until basically the final is must watch. And
oh yeah.
Honestly, the way they're doing it, I hate that CBS got involved because like at least when it was on like Turner and Bleacher Report, like BR, like the TNT, at least you could just pay like $3 to watch a game and not have to sign up for anything.
Yeah.
CBS, you got to sign up for the CBS All Access. I'm not doing that. I'm already signed up for like 1,000 damn streaming things.
Yeah, you just gotta suck it up and watch in Spanish.
Yeah, that's the only thing on your cable package is on Univision.
Yeah. Telemundo, Univision.
It's like, damn it. Why did Fox get rid of it? That might have been the stupidest thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
And they got rid of the Bundesliga. Like, what are they doing?
Makes 0 sense.
There's your American dollars. Goodbye. Thank you very much for playing, dummies.
Yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, lots of good stuff. And of course, the MLS, we're down to our final 4 for those that care. We got Seattle, Minnesota United, sleepers.
Doing what I thought they would have did in the tournament, in the MLS's back tournament, but they're finally doing it here. So,
and then the terrible Bruce Arena-led New England Revolution somehow sneaking in as an 8 seed to the finals, facing off against the Columbus Crew in the other matchup.
Dude, I've never been a bigger Columbus fan in my life. Like, I cannot watch this guy another week. I cannot watch this club another week. It's depressing. As a whatever I was or am or whatever with Red Bull, it's depressing because you know what's doing it? Spending money. You know why they're there? Because they spent money. Because they went out and signed Gustavo Boye from Club Tijuana and gave him big money, and it's been paying off game after game after game.
Got to spend money.
It's like that was the guy. That was the guy. If you put him on that Red Bull team this past year with that scoring prowess, it's a whole different season. But no, God forbid they spent $1 and they let him go to DC, and now look, they're in the finals or the conference finals. But
shitty.
Yeah.
Jules
says Fox will get the Premier League, and Jules, take that one, Adam. You can.
So the Premier League is basically just one league domestically. Like the Premier League is just teams from England or the UK. There's also teams, not to confuse you, but there's a few teams from Wales that, like Cardiff, Swansea. So basically all your UK, it's basically a UK league, the Premier League. It's called the English Premier League. So you're only getting teams from that country playing in one league. Champions League is basically like the March Madness of world soccer. You're getting teams, the best teams from all over the world in each. You're getting Barcelona club game. You're getting Barcelona. You're getting Juventus out of Italy. You're getting the PSGs out of France. You're getting, Bayern Munich, obviously, from Germany. All these teams, it's basically the best teams in the world playing in a tournament style. You get what? How many groups? 8 groups? 8 groups of 4?
8 groups, yes.
8 groups of 4. So the best 32 teams in the world get to play in what's called the Champions League. You fight it out with your group, and then you advance, obviously, to the knockout stages, which is a 2-leg, and then that gets knocked down till eventually there's a final and then a winner. So if you win the Champions League, you're the best team in the world.
In the world. And recently, the Premier League has been kind of...
Yeah, it's basically like a yearly World Cup.
It's a yearly World Cup for club teams, yes.
Yes.
All the club teams across the world.
And it's exact
but
same
to
format.
answer that question of what the best league is, I would say still, and why we chose Prem of everything, is the Prem is the best league in the world because those teams are usually in your, especially of recent, in your final 4, your final 8 of Champions League, your final 4, your final 8 of Europa League, which Europa League is the lower level. It's like the NIT. The only difference is if you get knocked out early enough in Champions League, you get a shot at Europa League.
Yeah, it basically is. That's a good way to put it. The NIT of world soccer. You're not getting the ticket. You're the next best 32 teams in the world.
Yes.
You didn't
and if you can win that one,
cut.
You get a chance at Champions League next year.
Everything, there's no games in soccer that don't mean like, there's always some ramifications to a game. Unlike some American sports where you can tank for the whole season and you're still in that league.
Thank you for bringing that back up again.
You're always fighting for something in soccer. It doesn't matter. Because there is ramification. Yeah, there is ramification if you don't do very well.
Yeah, you stink, you go. Period.
Like we've said,
it's
like the Sixers when they tanked. If that was a league in Europe, you'd be going down to like play in the D League for the year.
Yeah, and the best team from there would have came up and had a shot to compete with the big boys. So,
and you know what that means? You lose
money,
monies,
and players, and respect, and fans.
It's a lot. That's why it's one of the best sports in the world. Yes. Always something to play for. And people talk shit. And I know it's not for everybody. We obviously last week we had Mr. B. Willie stirring the pot after watching that Union terrible performance. But yeah, I'm done. I'm almost done like trying to back soccer because I'm like, I understand it's not for everybody. I was in the same boat. I hated it. But until you see an actual like professional live soccer match
with fans,
you'll have a whole different perspective on the game.
Yeah, I mean, you could watch it live or without it and still get a different perspective, but that full fan experience, there's just nothing like it. And I've been to every sporting event. So
it's the hockey. Hockey's so much better live than on TV. Soccer, same way.
Yeah.
So much better.
Eddie said, did you see the new European knockout tournament starting up? UEFA Conference League. I saw some clatter about it.
They're just making so many like dumb tournaments.
My only issue with stuff like this is these guys are stretched as it is, like
seriously.
If you're going to do it and, it's going to come to the point where these bigger clubs are going to start valuing things less and less. And will the club itself be a part of it? Absolutely. Will you have the opportunity to see the best players for that club? Probably not. You're going to start seeing these tournaments played with second team, maybe even third team.
Yeah, man. Like Jules said, that was the beauty of when they had the International Champions Cup, where the big clubs from Europe would come over to the U.S. and do their preseason training or preseason friendlies over here in the U.S.
Which we were supposed to have again, but, a
little thing going down in the world.
Yeah.
Like I saw when the Union hosted the MLS All-Star game. I went to see the MLS All-Stars versus Chelsea, which was absolutely bonkers. It was so awesome.
Yeah. Because even if you don't get some of the top guys that come, like I know every once in a while, the number one, number two guys on some of these European clubs, they just don't want to go through the travel, and that's fine. But you're still seeing such high-quality play. It's worth watching.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's so big that we're having all these young, rising American stars in the game go play for Europe, because now they're getting smart over in Europe, and they know that more Americans are tuning in if you have said American on your club. And that will translate to going over to the U.S., and then maybe you have a new fan. Maybe you're a Bremen fan now that Josh Sargent is on Werder Bremen. Maybe
Valencia just picked up a whole bunch.
Yeah, Yunus Musa.
Just gave him a new contract.
He secured the bag, as the kids like to say now.
5-year deal with $100 million buyout clause. That's a good sign for American soccer. You got to get this kid signed, man.
Said it's good time to be an American soccer fan. I mean, the World Cup was a huge letdown, but we're trying again.
The past. Let's. I don't even want to bring that up anymore. I'm done with guys bringing that up and saying, "Oh, well, we failed to do this. We failed." Okay, we did. That was an old regime. That was an old group of players. This is the new group. This is like our greatest group of players, I would say, ever. It has, like, if you look from top to bottom, from ages 17 to 25, this is the best group of 20-some players trying to compete for an 18 and an 11 that we've ever had.
I think the best potential.
Yes.
I'm waiting for them to do something in like a big tournament like the Gold Cup, whenever that's going to be. Even the qualifying for the World Cup, hopefully.
Yeah.
Coming up soon.
We had our first ever 18 that didn't have a single MLS player in it. That's never happened.
Yep.
Well, sorry, I had one.
Did you see Michael Bradley was very petty this week? He took U.S. men's national team player out of his Instagram bio.
Oh, yeah?
He did.
It's about time.
He knows the train is gone. That is past.
It should have been past 5 years ago.
True. We have way better midfielders now. No offense to Michael. He was a good player, but
He was a good player.
times are changing, baby. You got to get quick and younger. That's just how the game is.
Yeah, he should have
Soccer
been
shelf
left off the last 4 squads.
Yeah. Obsessive with the Josies of the world and the Michael Bradleys of the world.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. I saw a Facebook post from me from like 3 years ago saying Josie should be in Europe, and
he did, and he had one good season, I think, with Sunderland, and then shit the bed.
Yeah.
If you want recognition, you need to do the Copa America. Yeah.
A good Copa America campaign? Yeah, 100%. We
got to get out of CONCACAF first.
Yeah. Well, that's what's his name? Tyler Adams was just saying playing Bayern this week is good preparation for CONCACAF.
See you, Jules. Love you. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you checking in, man.
It's a good dude. We got to get him.
Awesome.
I got to talk to him. He owns his own popcorn business, and he's got a sweet-ass spot on Main Street, Bethlehem. Delightful popcorn.
Oh, it sounds like sponsorship opportunities as well.
Later, brother. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. I love popcorn. So does my son.
There you go.
We'll have to.
And he'll ship some to you too. We'll get on that.
We'll make that happen.
So before we move any further into this, I forgot to give a shout out, obviously, to the sponsors, and obviously sponsored by our poll question, of course. The Mbuck Services boys. Like I said, like a broken damn record. It's getting cold. We're in the 40s now. We're not. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, not hopefully. I would love to see 50 degrees again, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We got the cold and rain. Your time's running out to get some work done. Please.
If you didn't call them 6 months ago, you're probably out there right now, instead of watching us, trying to get your gutters cleaned because you're getting backup and all that water's going everywhere from all this damn rain that we've had. So It's your own fault. It's your own fault.
Windy as hell today, so you're probably not trying to fall off your damn roof.
No.
Leave it to the pros. These guys are the best.
Backed up gutters lead to overflowing water, lead to basement flooding. You got to handle your business, and the best way to handle it is pay these guys to do it.
Damn right.
Period.
You can find them at ambuckservices.com or give them a call, 856-879-5530. Obviously, the Good Doc, our sponsor, Specialized Physical Therapy. I saw the Good Doc jumped on the show. I think it was last week. Was that
him on last week?
He jumped on, I think, on Sunday to talk about the Eagles game. Or it was either 2 weeks ago or last week that the Good Doc was on. It's my first time actually seeing Paul, Mr. Vidal's face. Nice
in the flesh.
To a name, yeah.
Yes. Well, we appreciate everything he does here, supporting A2D with his sponsorship and all the good work he does in the communities, getting everybody fit and healthy. Like I said, we got our last game for my team tomorrow. Big one we got to finish up. Finish up the half season strong, and I'm going to be sending some guys down his way. So
there you go.
Yeah.
It's that time. But yeah. Obviously, you could schedule a virtual consultation, if you're still feeling a little uneasy with everything going on and all the cases spiking again. Or you could visit them. The 3 locations. I'm sure you're already saying it before I could even spit it out of my own mouth. You're already saying Burlington, Cherry Hill, and you're already saying the beautiful Princeton, New Jersey. It has to be in there. It's got to be ingrained in your head.
It has to be.
And I'm sure a lot of people, because I said that, have visited Princeton and is like, you know what? Adam is absolutely right. Princeton is beautiful.
It is. Little Ivy League talk. Little Ivy talk.
Not to mention the rivalry of that, but that's for another day. Oh boy, that's an open book, but we've been flying. This it's good. I love the interaction. Thank you, Jules, again.
The interaction makes the show just flow so much better.
And Amin, thank you for joining us today as well. We love to see some new faces. Can't even speak. Top 3 players of all time.
Now we're talking favorite or not. We're not saying like who we feel is the best or any of that. Like just 3 guys I loved watching play this sport. Is that what I'm going off of favorite?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd have to stick with Arsenal on one of them / Red Bull and Mr. Thierry Henry. There's really nothing like watching him play that run to the cup with France and just everything that guy did in the game, for the game, outside of the game. He's definitely in my top 3. My other 2, I would have to say, would be Mr. Michael Ballack.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Being a German national team supporter and just, his defensive prowess on the field. I love the defensive side of the game. So he would have to be number 2 or in the top 2. Third one, I'm going to have to think on my third one. Because there's a couple guys, and I don't want to just throw out a third one. I have a few thoughts of who that might be, but I'll let you at least take a couple while I really narrow down who I want my third one to be.
I was going to say, just to put it out there, I am sort of new in the soccer game the last 15 years, so anything before that, as far as watching those older players, I probably wouldn't put any of them on. We just had a huge show last week, obviously, on Maradona, saying that was before our time, but obviously he was so beloved in Argentina and around the world, and he was respected. Obviously mine are going to be a little this era, not so much back then, but I would say Lewandowski, honestly. That was when I started really, the young Lewandowski at Dortmund was kind of when I started falling into the love that I got for Dortmund there. I think 2010 maybe. 2010 or 11-ish, 12, somewhere in there. That, when he was just banging in goals, nothing new. I know he's still doing that, but the way I just love that team. And I guess I'd have to say Lamps as probably a second one. Just watching my brother being a Chelsea fan and having to watch Chelsea matches back when it was only on Sundays.
Yeah.
There's only basically one game on. You had no choice. That was the one game. Watching those Chelsea teams, in the late 2000s-ish, 08, 7, 6, in that range. But yeah, a third I'll have to think about it because, again, I could choose from a bunch of players, but...
Yeah, mine was tough because Lev was on that potential list. Schweinsteiger, Thomas Müller. But as sitting here and you talking and me really thinking, I would say third favorite just to watch and would just... When he was at his full potential of electricity, he was Lucas Podolski.
Poto, yeah, he was a monster.
Poto was it wasn't for a long time, but that few years where he was just at the top of his game, it's hard to not put him on my list because he's like a guy still even in FIFA that when he's playing for low level Chinese sides that I still put him on my ultimate team. He's like the 18th man on my ultimate team if I get his card just because who he is.
I think he's still playing, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he's still playing,
still?
But yeah, I believe he's still in China. He might even be playing with Iniesta or something. So Yeah, there's definitely a German bias. If you don't know, obviously, like
He
my
loved his German
background.
team.
Yeah, my love of the game really started like in the late 80s, early 90s of the German national team.
In Japan, sorry, yeah. Poto's in
Oh,
Japan.
that's right. Poto's in Japan. Everybody else is in China. Thank you.
Lord Walker, hello, sir.
Oh, look at that. He went world, club, and domestic.
He's always on his game, and that's why I love him.
He's always on his game, even when he's super busy and we haven't been able to chat much lately. We were going to get him on for this show. It's probably going to have to be for another week. You know, we miss you, man.
Stevie G. You know, Dempsey was an absolute monster. You might have not liked him if he wasn't on your team, but that dude, he was a competitor.
Yeah, and he was doing it on big stages. And I always give credit to the guys who can do it on multiple and large stages.
I would almost say Tim Howard too. And I don't know, like goalies, you know, there's a lot of good goalies throughout, you know, especially the U.S. That's like what we're known for.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim Howard was just a monster.
We're known for goalies because that's who gets most of the watch when we're
using our hands.
Making goals. Yeah. Our only chance of winning games was if we had a good goalie. So.
All our sports in the U.S., we use our hands mostly.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Timmy, you know, my boy Timmy Howard, that Belgian performance where he stood on his absolute head in the World Cup. Patrick Dempsey. Come on, man. Give some respect to Deuce. Clint Dempsey, homie. Not the actor. Patrick Dempsey. I do like that, though, Joey. You're always good for a good joke every once in a while. That's why we love you. But yeah, good question, Amin. Thanks, man.
Yeah, Fulham could use a lot all the time.
What's the score of that now?
I was getting in there to check. I have 9 screens up on my computer here, and not one of them is current scores.
Score alert.
It's still 2-0 City.
Okay.
So they just hopped off the gas after a quick 2-0 lead.
But yes, if you're just joining us, our poll question: will Arsenal be able to beat Spurs in the North London derby tomorrow? Agree or disagree? This is your time. Your time. Let's go. Maybe a Harry Kane goal. Thank you.
Yeah, Clint's a good U.S. tough guy.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to scrap with Clint.
He's a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Deuce from where is he from? Texas somewhere. Was he from Nacogdoches, Texas? If anyone could help me out. I think that's where he was from. Jeff said Tony Meola was better than Timmy. I don't know. That was before my time. I didn't really see. I just remember the Brad Friedel days.
You know what, though? I don't necessarily disagree with that. It's Meola, I feel like Tim had more to work with.
Did Tony Meola play over in Europe?
Yeah, Tony played. Where the hell did Tony play? Because he played. Obviously, he played here, but he definitely had. Where was his like?
I don't know much about Tony.
He was with Brighton, but then everything else was here. Brighton, Watford in the early '90s, and then he came back to the U.S. and was with the U.S. in the U.S. his whole time. So, yeah, I mean he's going back. What he was done by? He had 1 year with the Red Bull in '06.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean he was a Metro Star guy. He was he played for some squads. He played some indoor leagues. I mean
I think I met Tony Meola one time.
He's a hell of an announcer.
I think I met him. I was at the This was before I don't even think I liked soccer that much, but I remember going to a Metro Stars game at the old Giants Stadium, and my brother's friend's dad worked for Honda, and he used to get all these tickets. Obviously, they were a big sponsor. And we got a box seat for the Metro Stars, and Tab Ramos and I think Tony Miola came in our box and started shaking hands and signing autographs and taking pictures with us. And I had no idea who the hell these two guys were at the time. I'm like, who the hell is Tab Ramos? But yes, I was right. Lord Walker, Nagahoches, Texas, baby.
I feel like Tony Miola definitely did some advertising for North Jersey car dealerships in his life.
You gotta respect this. I can't speak today.
Nice tryout with the Jets too.
People don't forget.
Pretty sure he kicked in 2 games with the Jets, as a matter of fact.
He was as good as Tony Danza.
Well. It did not work out so well.
Garbage picking, field goal kicking, Philadelphia phenomenon.
Oh man.
Yeah. Lord Walker said you better come correct.
Yeah. I mean, it might have just, I think that meant maybe on an international stage.
I mean, if we're talking whole career, that's not even.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Miola was playing with the Fort Lauderdale Thumpers or whatever the hell they were while Tim Howard's over there just running it at Everton,
The Thumpers? What?
I don't even know if that's what they're.
Put some respect on the Tampa Bay Rowdies name. Come on.
No, it's Fort Lauderdale Strikers. He played a 7-game loan there in '91, and then went to be indoor 3 years later for the Buffalo Blizzard. So I mean, come on, he had a 3-year hiatus where he wasn't even playing club soccer.
Oh no!
While Timmy's just over there in Europe, just dominating,
scoring goals.
Yes. Yeah, so
that's fun. Good debate, though.
I think that was
again. I can't speak. I didn't watch Tony Miola.
I honestly, until I started, I thought Miola maybe had a little better career. So, but I guess it wasn't so great. He had a decent international career in the early '90s. Why everybody knows Tony Miola is because he was the goalkeeper of the U.S. team in the '94 World Cup that was here in the country. So anybody who was young, who saw a couple World Cup games when it was over here, Tony Miola was one of the only recognizable names. Tab, I'm sure, was on that team as well. So.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah,
good old Kobe Jones on that team.
Probably, and Alexei, and yeah.
See, I know a little bit about the old team.
The guitar wielding ginger hippie Alexei Lalas.
Was Brian McBride?
Most likely.
I'm just naming guys now.
I'm sure Bradley. I feel like Bradley was on that team now. His old ass. He was like 17.
The 18-year-old mop top Michael Bradley.
Yeah, when he had hair. Yeah.
Oh man, you forget Michael Bradley actually played at Roma, didn't he?
Yeah, he played. He was a good player.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to ever take away from Michael Bradley's career, but Michael Bradley now it's
shell himself,
Yeah, it's ancient.
I mean, he's always been not the quickest cat. Now he's definitely not. Do you want to quickly go down some of the scores from last week?
Yeah, we can run
on hour number 2. Again, welcome in if you're just joining us. Mr. Adam Modick, Brian Wheeler, coming to you live, PA, New Jersey, respectively. A2D radio, you know what it is. No notes.
So last weekend, while Lord Walker's here joining us, we'll be quick about it. But Liverpool had an underwhelming performance against Brighton in a 1-1 draw, followed up by City just running roughshod on Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? The Riyad Mahrez hat trick?
Yes. I had to hear about that from two of the guys on my club. One of them's a City fan, and one of them's from Algeria. So
There you go.
I had to
There's the love.
I had to continuously hear about Riyad Mahrez's hat trick. Time is flying today, Eddie. We're already approaching hour number 2.
I felt like I didn't stop just spewing. I mean, Jules started the ball. I appreciate him hopping on. I always talk to him about it. Like when I see him, I'm like, bro, like you played soccer in high school. You should just jump on the comments and we'll chat. It's good to see him. Footy talk. There's B Willie. There's the soccer aficionado.
Cheers.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. And then I interrupt you constantly, so I
That's
can
what
accept
we do.
it.
I mean, shit. We watch all the other shows with Tommy just going off, and people are like, "I don't want to interrupt you." You just get into that mode. He's like, "No, interrupt me, please."
Yeah, stop me.
Huge
soccer fan. Huge.
Biggest one. You and Tori.
If we're talking about physical stature and enjoying the game, yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Leeds went on the road and beat Everton 1-0.
That's a part of the Everton. What's going on with Everton?
There's issues. There's lots of issues, and honestly, I haven't been able to figure them out. There's not a lot of injury.
No.
So, Pete joins us.
Pete.
And then a team with bigger problems than even Everton is Sheffield lost again. 1-0 at West Brom.
Well, they freaking stink.
Dude, it's bad.
I said in the YouTube poll, do you think Chris Wilder gets fired this year? Agree or disagree?
Dude, how do you not on our other poll, for all you joining us from YouTube? Keeping a few bets. I'll give you a few bets before we're off the air.
I had a gambling corner the first 2 weeks, and then I started telling my buddies about some of these that don't watch soccer, and they lost a decent bit of money on myself. So since then, I'm like, I don't like to put other people's money in my hands, if that makes any sense. No pun intended.
Here's the issue with betting soccer, and I'll just be 100% blunt with you, is there's so many games and these teams playing so much, and your lineups are generally not released till about an hour and a half before game time. Is you might look at two teams on paper and say, oh, it's a no-brainer. This is a dub. And then you look and you realize that half the squad is rotated and now they're drawing, or, it makes it difficult. And especially in some of these betting rules with like MLS playoffs, where the game will come to a finish and we'll have a winner, but it's a regular time draw.
Yeah,
so
that's the one you got to watch. It'll say full-time winner. But if it's a 0-0 and your team wins in overtime, it doesn't matter.
Right. Even if it's not PKs, even if it's just extra time, it doesn't matter. It has to win in regulation.
That's what happened.
So there's ways to bet around that too. But
the other day when I bet on the Crew to win in full time, and it was tied 0-0 at the end of regulation, I lost. Yeah. Even though they won in extra time, which makes it very tricky. And there's really no point spread in soccer. You basically are just going off of what you think could be how many goals scored in a game.
Yeah, you're almost better off betting the, is it going to be a 1.5 goal game? Yeah, or actual score or things like that. I mean, some teams you can pretty much book it and you're not going to get great odds on. Soccer's a good sport to parlay. You might want to take like a 5 favorites and just hope that all 5 do their job.
Yeah.
But there's always that game that doesn't show up, like Real losing to Shakhtar twice this year. You know how much money you could have won on that second one? There was no way everybody had Shakhtar winning the second time around.
Yeah, VAR is trash, man.
Yeah, we haven't even got there yet.
It's bad.
So, back to Sheffield. I mean, Sheffield's in danger of being worse than Watford's start last year.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
10
hell
games
yeah.
in, and they have 1 point. They have 1 draw.
For sure. I mean, dude, they got no scoring. Zero
None.
scoring.
Nothing.
It's
They
ridiculous.
have 4 goals scored.
And they got Ram Brewster.
4 goals in 10 games. Who doesn't play?
Yeah. You spent all that money to try and have him be the solution to your scoring drought, and where is he?
Yeah. They were talking about Callum Wilson, and they didn't make the move, and it seems to be paying pretty decent dividends for Newcastle, so they missed the boat on that one.
Again, talk about a team that needs fans in the seats or something to get this spark. I don't know I don't know what they can do to turn the ship.
It's going to take a lot, man. It's going to take a lot.
Brutal for the Blades.
Yeah.
My adopted sons.
Yeah. Adam's starting to get my mojo just killing soccer clubs. Nottingham lost again today.
They're so bad.
They're sitting in the bottom 4 right now they went from just missing the playoffs last year on the last day in an almost improbable fashion to now being able to barely sustain in their own
improbable fashion.
Yeah.
They could have coasted into the playoff if they just tried maybe a little bit.
They did everything the wrong way, and it's getting worse and worse and worse week after week.
You wear their jersey one time, and their whole club just goes to shit. Damn it.
Sounds like my life.
It's brutal, man.
So that rounded out Saturday. Sunday was a little bit more eventful. The game that we thought was going to be really good it
was a good triple header.
Southampton. Yeah, all three were decent. Southampton lose 3-2 to United. They took an early 2-0 lead, and you're like, holy cow, here comes Southampton again. They are legit. And then they just weren't able to hold it. Good substitution by Ole, getting Cavani on the pitch, and it pays off, like you said in the pre-show notes.
Ageless wonder.
Did it with his head, literally with his head. Puts 2 in the net late in the game.
And an assist. Yes.
So I had that bet as a draw. I was pumped to see that it get to 2-2, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And, of course, there was a way with 2 minutes left in the game.
I think that's going to be their game plan going forward. Just Bruno whips balls in the box and hope Cavani gets his big noggin on it.
Why not? Like, why do these guys go away from what works? That's what I don't understand. Like, you have
a system
in place. You have the players, you have things that work, and then it's like it works, and then the next week it's like they're not even in the 18. And you're like, what is?
Doesn't make sense.
What is the thought process there? Yeah, like Ole said, he's always 6 games away from getting sacked. So it's constantly. It's always 6 games away.
Get better results, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Don't fight with your diva star player.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting 9th in the table right now, and it could be better if they just took care of business earlier. It's like all these teams that are sitting down there all had opportunities blown this year.
Yep.
I mean, they lost to Arsenal, 1-0 at home. First time Arsenal won at Old Trafford in 14 years. Mm-hmm. So they didn't take advantage of a bad Arsenal team. So it's like these bad teams aren't taking advantage in opportunities that they're given, and you pay for it in the table. You get far enough behind, it really gets hard to climb out of there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they're that far down. It feels like they're having a better season than what they appear in the table.
Well, that's because they're actually playing well. Them and City both are playing well in Champions League. So you see how well they're playing in Champions League, and you're like, hold on, how could they be this bad in league play right now? Like, even City, most likely going to end up getting this win and should coast to the end of this game. But going, they're sitting down. They were 11th going into today?
Yeah.
Yeah, 84th minute. They're still up 2-0. So that'll put them up to 5th with obviously a lot of teams still to play. But that's a big jump. That's what 3 points can do for you. You can jump from 11th to 5th in the table.
Yeah, typical
winning a game. Winning a game.
3 points in this league, I mean, it's big. That's why they say some of these teams at the bottom, all they need is a win to catapult them out of that, that danger zone, that relegation zone. A
nice little 2-3 game win streak could make, wonders for your season.
Because half the time, everybody in the middle is beating each other up or at the bottom. So a win goes a long way. Granted, it's still early in the season. We haven't even reached Boxing Day, but you're starting to see some of these teams that are going to be at the top, and probably some of these teams are going to be fighting further, to stay up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Boxing Day, you still got to wear some Arsenal gear.
Oh, that's right.
From our previous bet.
That's right.
Although at this point, I mean, doing a 30-minute show on Arsenal.
That sounds brutal.
It's going to be brutal, but, that was part of the bet. So maybe they can turn it around by then. Maybe a nice win tomorrow and they get rolling here. Maybe I have something positive to talk about on Boxing Day.
You never know. I'll have to find me an Arsenal something, or have my buddy Zach, good friend Zach, friend of the program.
Yeah, either Zach or myself will get you something before the show. So
it's very nice of you.
Yeah. I don't even want it at this point. You could keep it at this point.
It's like, get rid of this crap.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, my Chelsea rant on Jose Mourinho's great tactics last week. Just Mr. Mourinho, just playing for a tie, just parking the bus, making them break it down. Pussy shit.
Listen, as much as I don't like the guy,
and I know that's his MO. He did that with Chelsea back in the day too. Parking the bus, that's his thing. But you son of a bitch.
Sometimes when you go on the road to a big club, you have to do it. You have to.
And again, there's no one to blame but Chelsea themselves. And I'm, deflecting blame to Jose because he had that strategy going in that he's just going to sit back, maybe get a nice counterattack. It worked. Good job. But the result makes me angry.
Got out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating because Chelsea did have opportunities in that game and weren't able to finish. And all you need to do in a situation like that is get one, and then they can't play that strategy anymore.
It's ridiculous. But, hey, you got the point. You're out of there. You're still in first. We'll see what happens with Chelsea playing Leeds in a couple hours. What's Lord Walker saying?
He's 100% right, man. We're not playing a video game. You're playing with people's lives here.
The 5 sub. Is Klopp arguing against the 5 subs, or he wants the 5 subs? He wants the 5 subs, right? Because he feels that there's his players are getting thrown through the gauntlet with how many games are going on.
Yeah, and I did see that they were discussing that a potential, like a free sub on concussions
Mm.
to where it shouldn't count as one of your 3, which I'm just really sorry. I started reading. Yeah. If it's going to be this condensed schedule and this huge amount of games, I understand the 5 sub thing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
you don't want it.
I know all the old school guys hate it, and nobody likes change, right? When you see, it's always been 3. And now, with what's happening in the world, now you got to squeeze in all these games. Liverpool, I agree. I think Klopp, they played on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then they got that Saturday game instead. You should get the Sunday game if you're playing on Wednesday. So he has a right there to argue. Because, Wednesday to Saturday, that's nothing. Yeah, these teams, these big clubs, man.
I don't care what Ole and Pep say because they got an extra week off to start the season that no one else got. So I still don't respect that.
I don't know. You can't really argue the 5 subs at this point.
No, I guess the arguments are, it's just people that like things the original way, that people aren't willing to accept change and see, how not only the game's changing, because the physical aspect of it.
Well, some of these people are pissed because the big clubs, they have the depth to bring out the 5 subs. Like,
right,
the Liverpools and the Chelseas, like, your bench is deep as hell, and those 5 guys, it's almost like they're saying that's unfair to bring in those many people, because that could change a game.
Oh, yeah. If you're bringing in 5 guys that should be starting on the team you're playing, and the team you're playing is, just getting warm, fresh bodies in there. But again, that's part of it. Get more money, get your club bigger, get better signings, it kind of is what it is. I hate to use that term. I hate that term, but for certain things, it happens to be.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's the smaller clubs. They don't have the depth that some of these teams have.
Yeah, but you know what? To argue that is you might find somebody that gets in a game and does something good for you by using that extra sub. Some guys are better game players. Some guys, it's just a fact. I got guys on my team that practice like crap and they get in a game and they're great. And I got guys that are the opposite. They look great in practice and then they get in the game and they have no game sense.
Right.
So it does give an opportunity sometimes to get more of a look at guys too.
And I think Amin brings up a good point. I think it's catered to injuries.
Yeah.
Which I think is the underlying thing. Because of the packed schedule, for some of these clubs that you're playing basically 2 games a week, right? That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wear and tear through a whole season. So, you don't want some, and it's going to hurt it's going to hurt not the ratings, but to see some of these star guys like the Van Dijk injury, I'm sure that's crushing. Granted, that was a little different. That was idiotic play by Pickford, but
it's crazy though how they just haven't been the same. Everton since that. Like, they didn't even have the guy getting hurt out of the 2. And Liverpool still found a way to play better, and Everton it's like bad karma. Like, Everton just got hit with that huge karma train by nothing really even happening to Pickford for such an egregious foul that they can't win a game now.
No. And maybe it is karma. Maybe it's the soccer god saying, come on, man.
Yeah.
You got away with 1.
And obviously, last from Sunday was Arsenal.
Yeah, lost to the Wolves 2-1. Daniel Podence, he's my man's.
I don't even know what to say, man. You have a home game, a must-win home game, and that's the performance that you come up with.
Brutal.
I mean, I know Wolves aren't horrible. They're not a bad team. But you want to be a top 6 club in England. You want to be known as a European powerhouse. Like it's come to the point. Arsenal's not a top 6 team anymore. They're just not. You can't even put them in that top 6 conversation. They don't deserve it.
They sat at 5 to 6, even under freaking the later years of Arsene Wenger. They're just happy sitting there at 5. They love Europa League.
I hate Europa League.
Yeah, nobody really cares about it unless your team's in it.
Yeah, it's like we called it the NIT, the nobody's interested tournament. Like, it gets interesting when you get down to about 8 teams, and you're gonna who's gonna win and who's gonna make Champions League next year. Like, that's the only good thing about Europa is it does give you one opportunity to get back into Champions League. I mean, look at a team like Sevilla. They're making the best of it. They took their Europa League last year, and they're gonna advance to the round of 16 in Champions League.
Well, that's the only weird part, I guess, about Champions League is if you finish 3rd, you basically get an extra life in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense to me, but
it keeps the good teams playing.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I mean, so you get rewarded for not making it out of your group stage? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's not really a reward, I guess, but it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
And half those teams go on and win.
And it sucks for all the other teams in Europa that have been battling out, and now one of these big clubs is coming down in there, and they're like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's what happened a couple of years ago with Chelsea. Chelsea got knocked out of Champions League, comes down and gets to the finals in Europa against Arsenal and beats them.
Yep.
Right back in Champions League. So Arsenal wins that Europa that year if they probably didn't have to play that Chelsea team. So.
Lord Walker coming in hot.
He's not wrong. And he, part of that is, where we get the negative
the whole
look
thing
at the game.
It's getting soft, and I think sports just in general are leaning to us being super soft, worrying about more injuries, policing the game a little bit more, and then we're turning to robots like VAR. Why is a man's armpit offsides?
Right.
Or I think
how does that affect him getting to that ball and finishing?
What was the one last week where literally his feet, I forget what it was, but his feet were behind the defender. His body might have been, his arm was out, where to point, where to pass it.
Yeah.
But his actual feet were behind the defender, and they called it offsides. I forget what game it was, but I'm like, how is that offsides when himself is behind the defender, but yet you're pointing to where you want the ball, and that's offsides?
They really should improvise the rule to be just feet, because what else matters?
You can't score with your hand.
Yeah. So first of all, who runs like that? That's weird that he was running like that.
He was running and pointing to where he wanted the pass.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to do that. You don't need to point to the spot you want the ball. The guy's either going to put it there or he's not. You pointing isn't going to make Kevin De Bruyne put the ball on the spot. He's either going to put it there or he's not going to put it there. I mean,
that's just a heads up. Say, hey, man,
Yeah.
I want it.
But it should go down to feet. That's all. That's the only thing that should matter on offside. It shouldn't matter where your shoulder, your head, your arm, anything. Your feet. Were your feet behind the defender when that ball was sent?
Yes or no?
You start your run prior to it. Yeah, period.
I don't want this gray area bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, Neymar is the king of Mr. Softy.
Yeah.
He owns Mr. Softy, the ice cream, that son of a bitch.
If that's true, I'm not eating it ever again.
You didn't know it was a Brazilian company? Just kidding. I love Mr. Softy.
Mr. Softy.
Whatever it is in Portuguese.
Oh, Coventry City just took down Rotherham United 3-1.
Let's go. Rotherham, baby.
Full-time stats are in.
Rotherham. What else did we have? Oh, we had
Monday. We had some Monday night football.
Oh, that's right. Leicester cost me money.
Yeah. They're the worst team to bet on in all of...
That's twice that they cost me money. The tie against Braga, which they easily should have won.
Yeah, that screwed me.
And you should be a Fulham side. I don't care.
At home, too, at the KP. You lose to Fulham 2-1? Really?
Unacceptable.
Absolutely unacceptable.
And Fulham actually played good. They played them.
They did.
Leicester came out, looked like they were sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Scotty
Parker saved his job.
Dennis Pratt got subbed off at halftime because he looked like dog shit.
What a tough team to figure out right now.
Is any team like we know is really good? Are we still figuring out like maybe the top couple? Like Chelsea, Spurs, we kind of know who they are.
Yeah.
Everybody
Liverpool,
else, it's
obviously.
like, I don't, yeah. Besides those three, it's like, what are you going to get with a City team? Granted, they're playing a lot better now. But other than that, it's like, we don't know what we're going to get with Everton now. Drawing Burnley, for God's sakes. We don't know what we're going to get with Leicester. I mean, losing at home to Fulham.
Yeah, that's... Some of your better teams are West Ham and Southampton. Like, you can't bet them consistently week after week.
Danny's back, by the way. I think they're going to try and throw him out there.
Good. Sitting 6. I mean, you gotta keep that going.
What else? West Ham beat Villa last week.
Yeah, Villa's cooled off a bit.
Yeah, that's another one that kind of they started so good and really unexpected, and now that they're kind of coming back down to real life here.
But you know what, though? Like, the crazy part when we talk about it is just that early season run alone.
We'll save them.
10 weeks into the season, 11 weeks into the season, they already know that there's very, very low chance that they're going to have to even worry about relegation now.
Right.
Just because of how hot they started. Like, they have 15 points through 9 games when other teams have 1, 4, 5, 6, whatever, like, and those teams, the chance of them going on a 3-4 game run and you not winning anything is so slim that, like, you're almost safe. You get one nice month of winning some games and it pretty much saves you might not finish in the top 10, you might not finish where you wanted to, but you're not going to have to be struggling worrying about relegation going into the final 2 weeks of the season like last year.
I was going to say, I think if you're Villa and you finish in the top 10, it's a win for the season. Because, again, last year they got very lucky to stay up.
Yeah. Greased Arsenal a little bit and gave them that 3 points 2 weeks to go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, their biggest move was just re-signing Jack and making sure he stayed with the club.
Oh, yeah. They did good things in the offseason. Villa's a good team, and we've always said the Premier League's better with Villa in it. Like, they're a mainstay of the league, and when them leaving kind of hurt, and it was nice to see him back. then they come back and they're like knocking on relegation door again. You're like, damn, we're going to lose them again. And, they did just enough to save themselves. So,
yeah. And again, like you said, they did a lot of good things in the offseason, bringing in Ollie Watkins and making sure Emi Martinez got in the squad, and re-signing Jackie. Matty Cash was a low-key good signing. So, yeah.
He's getting healthy. Yeah, they've been doing good stuff. So, just a quick little tidbit, too, because it involves Villa on your boys. And big ups. I got to give him credit because he's a former Gunner as well, Mr. Olivier Giroud, and his 4-goal performance in Champions League game this week. The last guy to score 4 for Chelsea was the gaffer himself, Frank Lampard, against Aston Villa in 2010.
There you go.
So little tidbit, and no Chelsea player has ever scored 4 in a game in a European competition.
Oh,
that was a first. Just records being set.
The ageless Frenchman still getting it done.
Guy has a knack to get the ball in the net. That's all I could say. Another guy that uses his head well.
I think Amin is a Neymar stan.
He's been fouled at top. He's had the most called. Yeah, I don't know if all were actual fouls.
I would say him. I mean, Jackie Grealish gets fouled like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Eden Hazard, when he was in the Prem, he used to get fouled like 10 times a game.
And then he got fat and lazy at Madrid.
He always came in a little overweight sometimes at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, he likes his Belgian chocolates, man.
I don't know. His brother's been looking a little better down at Dortmund than he has.
Yeah. Torgens, I need to talk with that Dortmund team.
How'd they do today?
I don't know. They probably lost.
I haven't checked.
They're playing a false 9 with Julian Brandt up top.
That's interesting.
Because the striker situation is just mind-boggling.
Oh, they drew.
That's
Gio.
That's good. The result is not good.
No, the result's not good. Took a 56-minute Gio goal.
A stunner.
Yeah.
Apparently. I'm about to bad radio watch this. Uh-huh.
Not bad radio, different radio.
Different.
We do things different around here.
Even
Better.
Lil. Hey, Lil. Timmy Weah scored, I think, this week. For Lil.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to see Timmy got going.
Well, he needs to stay
I would love him to be our striker. Yeah.
The fuck? All right. I'm watching it. Jaden on the wing.
It was a nice goal.
Oh yeah, I seen it.
It was a nice goal.
Thunderous strike. Nice cut in on his right. Blast it. Upper bins, as they like to say. Top bins. But I mean,
we did have some.
Go for it.
No, I was going to say we did have some, I guess, scheduling come out too for the U.S. and Mexico and CONCACAF and.
Oh yeah, are we playing this week? Coming up, the U.S. team.
I think so, man.
A very weird U.S. January camp. Giving some of these newer guys a shot, the MLSers a little bit.
Yeah, because it's the Wednesday, the 9th. We play a friendly against El Salvador.
Tough.
So, again, though, don't overlook it. Don't just bring some guys because you want to bring some guys and think, like you could just coast on anybody. Like, you got to win. All these games, you just have to win. Like, because the casual fan doesn't care who was in your 11 and your 18. You don't beat El Salvador. All you're going to hear is guys that, pop on ESPN occasionally and just see how the U.S. team is so they can come at us,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, well, we lost to El Salvador. We suck. This game sucks. Like, that's all you're going to hear. So I don't care if you're bringing 18 college kids. Like, you got to go beat El Salvador, man.
B. Willie watches one U.S. game and we lose to El Salvador.
Yeah, like, could you imagine? We'll never hear the end of it.
That's bullshit. I can't believe I watched this shit.
Yeah.
Soccer sucks.
It will be on ESPN News. So, yeah, we'll get some coverage.
What does it mean? I've always been a PSG fan, born and raised in Paris. Nice. Love Paris. I've seen Tim grow. Yeah. Again, his injuries have plagued him throughout his career, Timmy Weah, but I hope he does well, man.
Yeah.
He had a lot of promise. Lots of promise.
Seeing if there's anything else scheduled. I don't see anything else scheduled yet, like official in the schedule.
Category. There's always better than him at every age. Yeah. I mean, didn't Lille get Jonathan David from Canada too? I
believe so, yeah.
Trying to tap into that North American pipeline, Lille.
Hey, it's good soccer right now coming from us in Canada.
Did Jonathan David, was he on Bruges or he was on a Belgian team, wasn't he? I want to say. Or Cercle Bruges.
Let's see.
Big money for Johnny David. Yeah, it was like 30 or 40.
He was at Ghent.
Ghent.
He was at Ghent.
Ghent with a T, not Genk.
Yes, not Genk. Ghent.
Oh, my lordy.
Yeah, he's got 12 caps so far with Lille. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big signing for them. Amin from Paris. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
We had a guy.
Have you, bro.
We had that dude from Marseille, like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
What
part of that international ratings?
The Flair and the guy. What was that dude from Ireland?
We had a dude from Ireland. Just happened to tune in the day I had the Irish kid on too, so that was that was pretty cool.
Always classic.
We've had some different from Africa.
And I know the time differences can be a little pain in the butt, but
yeah,
I guess not many people are doing much these days with all these restrictions. What's Paris like? That's locked down pretty good, isn't it?
Most places are handling their business, unlike us. So,
oh, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, we're not gonna venture off onto that topic today.
How about just some Champions League games to look out for this week?
Yes.
Some of the groupings, what's going down.
I would say Tuesday, 12:55, Lazio, Bruges. One of the top games to watch.
Group F.
Group F. On the line.
Winner gets second place and through to round of 16.
Well, it could be first if it's Lazio.
Yeah, Lazio could jump us depending on what Dortmund does.
Yeah.
I
mean, Dortmund should run again. Zenit has 1 point so far in the group, so
-8. So,
yeah, they need to get their win. As long as Dortmund handles their business, then it is for second. I don't know. Bruges could give them a little run for their money, so that should be a good game.
Yeah, that's one to look for. That's a big one. I mean, obviously that Group B is probably the best, one of the groups to watch for.
Yeah, that's Wednesday. You can pick those up on Wednesday.
With Gladbach with 8 points, and then Shakhtar with 7, and Madrid with 7.
Yeah, so Madrid, Gladbach, 3:00 Wednesday. That's the Wednesday game to watch.
That's the big dog.
Yes. And honestly, Salzburg and Atletico too.
Yeah.
Because Salzburg is only sitting, they're 2 points behind.
Bayern ran away with that grouping for what we thought.
Yes, and I mean, you're 100% right. Back to Tuesday, the Leipzig Man U game.
That's probably the game of the week, I would say.
Yeah,
a lot of implications.
Because you figure all teams sitting at 9 points: Man U, PSG, Leipzig. PSG gets the beauty of playing Istanbul to close theirs out. And could that Istanbul loss by Man U just come back to absolutely haunt them?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I can't figure out Leipzig either.
Yeah.
They seem to be playing a lot better in Champions League, but I don't know. I feel like this is a Man U win. Again, one of those games where they need this is do or die. You lose, you're not making it.
Yeah, it's going to be that team that they're going to be one of those teams that ends up back in Europa and has a nice run at the Europa League title if they don't get this. So,
I mean, the loser of that game has probably a great chance to get to the final of the Europa League, Leipzig or Man U.
Oh, whoever, or God forbid if PSG doesn't beat Istanbul,
That'd be
whoever the one kicked out of that group is probably becomes the Europa League favorite. I mean,
you would have to think.
Unless something crazy happens and I don't even know. Dortmund's in. Sevilla and Chelsea are in. Ajax Atalanta, that's another one.
Winner of that gets second.
Yeah, now do they actually? Yeah, they're head to head. So that's another one. That's another really, huge game. And whoever loses that one goes to Europa as a favorite, without a doubt, because they're really good teams. Looks like City and Porto are in.
Yep.
And Shakhtar has a chance, man.
That has to be the most bizarre grouping. Just the way that Gladbach beat the shit out of Shakhtar twice.
Yeah.
Shakhtar's only wins were against Madrid.
They have -7 goals, and they have 7 points with 2 wins against Real Madrid.
Well, they lost the when you lose 6-0 and 5 or 4-0, that's going to hurt your goal differential.
But then they go and beat Madrid, 2-0, and they were up that one game 3-0. I think they finished, it was 3-2, I think was the final, but it's crazy. And then you got Inter sitting there, and Inter's not out.
Yeah.
All they need to do is beat Shakhtar and then hope that Madrid wins, and they could still – actually, no, Gladbach will have the +9 in the goal differential. So Gladbach's kind of safe.
Hey, Leipzig also with Timo Werner. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, Leipzig was a little different team last year. They had one of the top scorers in the world, so –
slight difference when you miss that man, but
you think Salzburg's missing Haaland a little bit or what?
They have a good young Hungarian kid, that Shalabazi.
They find the talent. I mean, they're another pipeline, that Red Bull pipeline.
Finding it, baby. Aronson, let's go. I'm now a Salzburg fan.
You are a Salzburg fan through and through.
I won't say the R word, but I'll say Salzburg.
Smart.
But yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
This is what we watch. This is why we watch it, to get to this point. Is head to head the first?
Head to head, I think is the first tiebreaker, and then goal differential. But
which puts Shakhtar in a pretty good spot.
Yes,
at least with Madrid chasing them.
Yeah, can they get up and can they beat Inter like that? That would be crazy if they beat Inter.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Champions League in the bag. Looking forward to it all. Shabala.
Yeah, getting down to
it. Exactly. I don't know.
Yes.
All I know, he's really good and he's young and he's getting looked at. Obviously, when you're a good young player, everybody's linked to you.
Oh yeah. Silly season's already starting.
Oh, I love it. We're almost in January. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to fathom where we're even at in time.
I don't even
space right now.
To me, I still think it's March.
Yeah, it feels like March.
Nothing really has changed, has it?
No. And I guess, we got about 15 left. Quick plug, I guess, to the MLS finals or conference finals will be played Sunday and Monday. So Sunday, you got Columbus and New England, 3:00. That'll be on ABC for anybody who wants to watch. Just root for Columbus.
Yeah.
Nobody wants New England in the finals.
I really hope that does not happen. I don't want to see Bruce Arena hoist a trophy.
No, not again. It's been a long time, and I'm kind of well over seeing him win anything, giving him any credibility.
I won't even watch games with the sound on because why do they put the boom mic next to his stupid face?
Oh my god!
All game, come on! What are you doing? His stupid New York accent.
It's not even like a good New York accent. It's a little high pitched squeal.
He's doing it all game. Come on! Like, shut up! My god!
And then Monday night, late one, 9:30 to Seattle, Minnesota.
Come on!
And there's definitely some talks that the final may get moved to a neutral site.
I don't know why they don't do that.
Yeah. They should have been doing that from day one. I don't think anybody should have a home game for a one-game final. They should have always been in a neutral site. Thank you.
Yes.
Lord Walker. Thank you.
Knew we could count on you.
Him and I agree generally most of the time. You and him, maybe not so much. This is a statement we can all get behind.
Hitch the train into the Bruce Arena. We don't like this man. Fraud train.
That's coming from a guy who has ties in Lord Walker with the U.S. soccer and player development. So it's not just us saying it.
It's not. The hatred flows deep within everybody.
So my personal, what I would like to see, not saying this is what's going to be, I would love to see a Minnesota Columbus final. Personally. I'm over Seattle.
I'm not. They have the best team.
I know, and I do like Rui Diaz.
Rui Diaz and Nico Ladero are probably one of the best players in the leagues.
Yeah, I know, but
when Jordan Morris gets going, he can play ball.
I like Minnesota. There's something about that Minnesota team, and my man Ozzy. I like him, and I like everything that team brings. So I like the little underdog feel. I don't see them going to CenturyLink, and
Lumen Field
in a Western Conference final and grab a dub, but I would like to see it. I'd like to see Columbus, obviously. So we'll see.
Columbus is a good team.
Yeah, they're a Red Bull rival, but I'd root for
Zilla
them over
guy.
New England 10 out of 10.
Look what happens when you spend money that Zilla on Columbus.
Yeah, it's amazing.
$8 million.
Yeah, they bring in Darlington Nagbe. They're
Lord Walker, that's why I made that face when he said Minnesota Columbus final. I was like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Columbus, Seattle, I'd like to see. Anybody. Seattle versus either Columbus or New England would be fine.
Here's my thing. Are the ratings going to be that great anyway?
If Seattle's in it, yes. If Minnesota's in it, hell no.
I mean, Minnesota's got to have something to root for.
They have Kirk Cousins.
They got Justin Jefferson. That's who they got. JJ.
Anyway. Should be a great final
We segue everything. We can segue Justin Jefferson into a soccer conversation.
I don't want to talk about it. That's for another show.
Yeah.
So if you missed it, Man City did win 2-0 against Fulham. Final score. We have a game, obviously 12:30 coming up in about 7 minutes. We got West Ham versus Man United. And then obviously the Chelsea versus Leeds will end at 3 o'clock. I believe that's on Peacock, the Chelsea match.
Is it going Peacock?
I believe so.
Well, I have it, so that's okay. I can watch it.
So did I. I went in and got it. Again, poll question to kind of wrap up the poll question. Do you think Arsenal will beat Tottenham in the North London derby tomorrow? Final thoughts from you, Mr. Gunnar Saurus himself.
I wouldn't bet your $5 on it, but I have to, for the sanctity of myself, for the sanctity of this show, where when we started over we're approaching almost a year and a half now.
Crazy.
I will never, ever, ever pick Tottenham.
Ever. We know that.
I don't even think I'll pick them in a draw. I think I've been pretty adamant about that. It needs to happen for just the whole Arsenal season, the whole Arsenal fan base. Just it's getting very frustrating. And if you can go on the road, beat this Tottenham team in a North London derby that's leading the Prem right now, and get 3 points and get back up into that top 10 of the table, it temporarily fixes all the distress of the last couple months here. So I think that, that coaches meeting and then that player only's meeting, like those are the things that fire guys up. Usually when, you get an opportunity to just all get in there and get in each other's face and tell guys what your problem is with him and what your problem is with him, and figure out who was leaking the little fight between Luis and Ceballos, and all these things can get kind of brought to the forefront, and all, the cat's out of the bag and everybody airs their grief. It can be a great thing for a team. It can sink a team, or it could be a great thing for a team. So I am going to say Arsenal will beat Tottenham in the North London derby.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's like you can't put anything on Arsenal right now.
No.
You can't count on them. But, if I'm Mr. What's his name? What's your the chairman's name?
Stanny
Kroenke. If I'm Stan, I'm calling recently fired Patrick Vieira from Nice. I'm sitting him in the stands and just looking down at Arteta, Just staring him down, just staring holes through Arteta all day. Putting a little pressure on the boys. Say, hey, if you're not getting results, that guy up there would be, I'm sure, willing to take over at some point. Patrick Vieira.
If I'm Stan,
just throw
instead of putting that kind of pressure on, why don't you just hire Patrick Vieira to be Arteta's number 2 and be the offensive mind to the defensive mind that Arteta already has? Because every good soccer coach has a good number 2 and needs a good number 2. That phone call should have been made. Like, hey, we need some offensive help here.
Once the firing happened, like the Doc Rivers thing, it's like once he's fired, you get on the horn, you say, hey, Patrick, we got a spot for you if you want it.
You don't wait. You don't let him land somewhere else. He's
going to get snapped up.
He hasn't had the best coaching career, just like other, Arsenal legends.
It's not like Henry's been great.
That's who I was referring to. But hey, he got the impact in the playoffs this year. That was a win. You gotta take that as a win. Right?
You see, sidebar. Speaking of Montreal, you see they're rebranding and dropping the Impact nickname and just going Montreal FC.
Yeah, that's really gonna sell kits.
Mr. Saputo trying to really inspire the club by dropping Impact.
And yes, Lord Walker, I knew you'd be on the Arsenal bandwagon this week because no one wants to see Tottenham sitting at the top of the table.
I'd prefer not. But if Harry Kane can score a goal, that'd be awesome. Other than that, will it happen? I don't think Arsenal will win, but
yeah,
I think Tottenham got it. But again, this league is absolutely bonkers, so who knows what will happen.
Again, I'm going strictly off my fandom and not my not what I've seen so far this season. There's nothing that on the field or off the field that tells me that they should win this game, but I can't not.
Yeah, my heart says Arsenal, but my head's saying that'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's like Arsenal. What have you done for me lately? Mentality right now, absolutely nothing.
They probably got a pretty nice plus number in the betting books, though. You might want to take an eye at that. This could be the one.
Let's see.
And then while you're looking that up, we rounded off with, since Lord Walker's still with us, his boys, Liverpool, taking on the Wolves. No easy task by any means playing the Wolves team. They're always well coached, but they will be without their main man in Raul Jimenez.
Plus 280.
Plus 280, yeah.
Throw 10 to win 28. That's not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad. Not high enough to put any money on.
No, absolutely not. You would
like plus 600 when you think about it. 280 the way they played, not worth it.
Nah. Sorry, go.
So I guess the big sticking point I want to ask Lord Walker here. Everybody's talking. Should Klopp, with the injury to Alisson again, stick with Kelleher over Adrian? I say yes.
He sent something. He's sending...
Ooh. I sent something to the Messenger app to get you through the game.
Oh.
Oh, man. I don't even want to open it. Hold on.
I don't know. That sounds...
That could be that could go a lot of different directions.
It's either very scary or a very thoughtful thing.
Well, I'm going to open it right now.
Live reaction. Just round her out.
Hold on. Can I get it up there?
What is it?
You can't make it out too well. It's Arson, a cardboard cutout of Arson holding a trophy.
Nice.
Yes.
Go back and think of the good days.
Oh, man, you're the best.
That's why we
Thanks.
love Lord Walker. He's the man.
That'll help me through my misery. I appreciate it. So,
red card, any red card, yellow card? I know you said you had some.
Yellow card I dug out. I found it. So,
There you go.
Use it today.
You snapped the red
Yellow
card back in the day.
Yeah, Arsenal got me so mad I snapped the red card in half. But I still have the yellow card.
Thank God. Thank God.
He said, yes, Keller. Where was I? Sorry. Yellow card was Real. I mean, come on, you lost twice to Shakhtar in Champions League. You're sitting fourth in the Liga table. There's talks about maybe Zidane. Like, you're Real Madrid. You got to do better than that. You got to get put on notice. You got to turn it around. Not that I necessarily want them to, but I just, I think for the sanctity of the game, sitting in third in their group to Shakhtar is kind of a shock. So that's my yellow. And my red is number 14 for Arsenal.
Milk carton
Mr. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Straight milk carton status. 2 goals so far in the Premier League this entire season since getting his paycheck. Arsenal is clearly paying for it by sitting 14th. He's not even doing anything in these Europa League games. He is just a complete shell of himself. And if any time or place to get going, it's in a North London derby with all eyes on you. So you are my red card, and it's time to turn it around.
Let's go, Auba. We need you.
Yes.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was asking yours.
Yellow card. I actually just thought of this. I saw it recently. Sunderland, my yellow card. They just can't figure it out ever since being in the Prem. They just hired another coach. They just hired another sporting director. That's like 3 coaches, 3 sporting directors in the last 3-4 years. Just a mess of a club. That guy, the first owner that they had when they got relegated, put them in some cap hell, spending money on terrible players. Jack Rodwell, just terrible people. And
we are Sunderland.
We are Sunderland. I'm rooting for you because I love the documentary. It's fantastic. But come on. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And my red card is to Bruce Arena because he's a stupid, punchable face asshat who I hope they lose. And I hope everybody watches that game on mute, because if you want to torture yourself and listen to a whiny, squealy New Yorker, fake New Yorker, leave it on. Leave the sound on and tell me how long it takes you to rip your goddamn hair out.
You won't make it through 15.
Mike, drop. Out of here. Screw Bruce Arena.
Speaking of bad clubs like Sunderland, the third team that we never got to discuss in Championship right now, Watford.
Oh, yeah, they're up there.
Sitting third.
God,
they'll be back.
If all 3 of those come back, jeez.
Oh, my goodness.
We're in for a long season next year.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. Well, guys, it's been fun. Again.
Yes.
Loving these 2-hour shows. We get to talk about so much more and have so much more time to just digest. And, we love Lord Walker chiming in. Amin, thank you for, again, with the comments.
Everybody who joined us today. It was nice to have. So
nice to have Jules jump on. Obviously, we saw Joey throwing his Patrick Dempsey. That was good. That's going to make me
He gave himself the L for the day. So, he's trying, man. I'll give him credit. He's trying. He's been messaging me. We talk. He's trying to join this.
I'm going to think about that later and start cracking up.
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, and I'll send you a couple maybe sure ones for this week.
Absolutely.
I would stay away from this. I would stay away from this weekend. This weekend stuff, but we'll get you some good ones.
Yeah, Jeff again checking in as always. Obviously, Eddie, my man. Thanks again for checking in, and all our A2D boys that popped in throughout the show. Appreciate it. Again,
hell yeah.
Check out all their shows. We got a lot, and we got a lot of good stuff coming. Possible scarf talk.
Yes. Hashtag scarf talk.
Kicking it stateside scarves. So I know you guys, if you want to message, myself or Brian, if you're interested in getting a Kick It Stateside scarf, we're kind of taking like a head count. I was in contact with some custom scarf guys. So if you're looking to buy maybe a cheap scarf,
what a better one to buy.
Exactly. We might not get it done by Christmas, but hopefully January sometime, because the guy said it takes 5 weeks to process everything and make them. So in due time.
All right.
So if you're interested in getting a scarf, a Kicking It Stateside scarf, let us know.
Yeah, message us or message me on the Kicking It Stateside Facebook.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, enjoy your, I don't know, it's kind of crappy here in the Northeast, but enjoy your day.
Yeah, watch some games.
It's perfect weekend.
Yes.
So, but we'll see you guys next week. Again, Brian, thanks again. You're the man.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, again, for joining in. And we'll see you
sir.
next Saturday, 10:30.
See you then.